Thank you very much for the interview, and can you introduce yourself?
Sure, my name is Nicole Angelucci. I'm 21 years old and I currently study at York University. My major is English, but I also study Korean because it's like my favorite thing in the world. I also love singing, even though I'm not very good at it. And I love dancing, especially to K-pop. My favorite thing to do is to sit at home and learn choreography from K-pop stars and idols. I also love reading and writing. And I actually wrote a novel last summer that has like over 80 something phrases in Korean because the main character is a Korean Canadian.
So how did you first encounter Korean culture?
About 4 years ago, I was working in a bookstore and my Vietnamese friend showed me Sorry Sorry by Super Junior and Amigo by Shiny. And I loved the music right away. I had no interest in learning Korean language at the time, but as I kept listening, I kind of got more interested. And in first year university, I met my friend Yabin, and she taught me Hangul in the summer. So I decided to take a class, and then I just fell in love with the language, so I kept going.
Can you tell us a bit about any other activities related to Korean culture?
Sure. Every school year since about maybe 3 years ago, I've been going to a Hallyu Dongari at University of Toronto. I know I don't go to that school, but some of my friends go there and they introduced me to the club and I decided that it was a lot of fun and the president asked me to teach K-pop dancing there. So I go back every year now to keep teaching and in the summer still sometimes I go. So from U of T, I met the Ramen Commerce Korean community and they did Hallyu MIC last year. So they asked me to dance with them there and I did that. And this year I'm doing another K-pop performance next Friday, but it's for like, I think it's a Chinese event in Richmond Hill, but the coordinator asked for some K-pop dancing and singing and stuff like that, so a couple of my friends and I are going out to perform there. Oh, I'm part of Say Kimchi with Cindy, and that's the language exchange here in Toronto. And I also am part of the Hallyu Dongari at York University. I don't have anything special that I do there, but I do like to go out when I have a chance.
So you're all over the place.
Basically.
So you first encountered Korean culture about 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Since then, do you think it's getting more popular here in
Toronto?
Yeah.
I think it's really popular. I actually have quite a few Canadian friends that are younger than me, so like the younger generations now love it. And they're so into it, even though they're not taking any classes or anything because they're still in high school. They always call me Onni, or they want to like ask some question like, what does this word mean? Can you teach me what they're singing in this song or something like that? So I get to practice with them too. I mean, it's not, I'm not really learning anything, but I'm teaching them and that's nice. So I think a lot of people really like it. And even if they don't like the music, they like the drama. So there's always something.
Yeah, so you're speaking, competing in a Korean language contest several times. So could you share your experience being a contestant?
Yeah, that was actually really amazing. The first year, Park Song-sang-nim was my teacher, and I had no idea that this contest existed. But I was learning at a fast rate because my friends were constantly speaking Korean with me. So he practically begged me to go to the contest, and I was really nervous, but I said sure. And I wrote a speech about my friends because that's the only reason why I learned so much. And I went there and I mostly memorized it, but I did look a few times at my paper, and that year was my beginner category. And I actually won first place that year, so I was so happy after, and Park Song-sang-nim was really proud, so that made me feel good. And then this year, I had Jeon Kyu-sun-nim, and she also basically begged me to go because nobody in the class really wanted to. And so my Japanese friend Yuki and I went, and this year I talked about like life's hardships instead. It was kind of more of a heavy topic because I was watching Secret Garden and I just was thinking about all these things. So I decided to write about that, and I was terrified because I had to have it memorized this year for sure, since so many more schools around like all of Canada came.
Do you still remember any phrase from your speech contest?
I remember random stuff. The stuff that I couldn't remember is like, for example, I had a phrase that had 소중한 사람, like people who are valuable to you. And for some reason, every time I would start that sentence, I could not remember what that sentence started with. So my friend Ki-sung told me, okay, here's how you're going to remember. Sojunghan sounds like soju, so just think of soju. So that's the only part of that paragraph that I remember now.
Your goal is to...
My goal is to be fluent in Korean and speak Saturday too.
So when you watch Korean drama or Korean film, how much do you understand?
If I watch a drama, like if it's a romance drama, like Secret Garden, anything that has to do with everyday speech, like 70 to 80% I can understand. But if Hyunbin is going off on some rant about some business thing because he's a CEO, then I'm totally lost, especially because he speaks so quickly. So I do put up subtitles, but I try to avoid looking at them. Like I'll just try to look at the people. And unless it's something I really can't understand, I'll glance down at the subtitles. And I would prefer to have Korean subtitles. Like if I watch Star King or something on YouTube, I use Korean subtitles because they speak really quickly sometimes. But if I can read it, then I can pretty much understand what's going on.
So have you ever been to Korea before?
Never. I've never been to Korea, but I'm dying to go.
Any specific destination you would like to visit in Korea?
More than one.
More than one, okay. For example?
I'm actually praying, crossed fingers, that this January I get to go back to Incheon with my friend Aiden. He's here for 1 year studying and he's going to be going back. So I hope that I can go with him. And if that's the case, we're going to travel together to Anyang to see our friend Taeung and also to Seoul, obviously. And I want to see my friends there. And we have some friends in Busan, so probably there. Then if I have some time, even if Aiden doesn't want to go, I'll probably go to Daegu as well. And that's probably all the time I'm going to have for that visit. But eventually, like maybe for my honeymoon or something, I want to go to Jeju-do.
Right, Jeju is great. So you also told me that you recently started learning the Korean Gyeongsang dialect.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how did you get into Gyeongsang dialect?
It's a funny story. Two of my closest friends are actually from Busan. And one of them, his name's Kisong, he's very, very shy to speak English. So if I try to talk to him, he doesn't really understand everything, and then he uses Korean instead, but he uses Busanmar. So I was very confused in the beginning, like I have no idea what he's talking about, but after I started getting used to it, because he would say like ne는 instead of na는, or ni는 instead of na는, and 알았지 instead of 알았지. And so I kind of started picking that stuff up, and I was like, oh, and I remember Aiden made fun of him because he would say 뭐뭐 했는디, something 했는디, and he argued with him saying, no, I never say that, and then 5 seconds later, 뭐뭐 했는디, and then Aiden just had to point out, I was like, you just said it, and we were actually in Finch, and we were on the street laughing because it was just so funny. So
let's learn some Gyeongsang dialect. Yeah, let's give it a try. 하이고.
하이고.
가가 아이고.
가가 아이고.
가가 가라니.
가가 가라니.
가가 가였구나.
가가 가였구나.
그래. 가가 아니었다.
그래, 가가 아니었다.
가가 가로 생각했나.
What?
가가 가지.
가가
가로 생각했나.
가가 가로 생각했나.
응, 가로 생각했었는데.
응,
가로 생각했었는데.
가로 생각했었는데.
내가 가를 좋아했다 아이라. 내가 가를 좋아했다 아이라.
내가 가를 좋아했다 아이라.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh my god.
You don't have to be perfect, just
yeah, I know.
for fun.